In this video, we're going to go over the top problems with low carb diets and what to do about it. Let's get into it. Welcome everyone to my very humble channel. Feeling quite the cowgirl with the official 10 equine, 6 horses and 4 donkeys. But I digress. Let's go. The number one problem with these low carb diets is your electrolytes. Point blank, period. It is the thing that can send your ass to the hospital because of chronic dehydration, especially during the summer months. A lot of people will either not consume enough salt or they just salt everything. They're like, oh, I salt to taste. But they'll put salt in a coffee, salt in water, salt on their food, salt in the cooking process. And a lot of people do not consider potassium. They balance like this. And if you don't balance the sodium and potassium, then you're salt heavy. And when you have too much salt, it's going to downregulate potassium. So the symptoms of too much salt are the same symptoms of not enough salt or too much potassium, not enough potassium, which is going to be heart palpitations. I know. You're going to get super lactic acid buildup in the muscle when you work out. And that's where that flat look comes from, right? You're all dehydrated. You're not hydrating the cells, over salting. Perfect balance. We have to think about that perfect balance. Eye twitching, right? Facial twitching because you've down-regulated your potassium because you're eating too much salt. And when you don't eat salt, you have the same stupid symptoms, which is why people get confused. You also can develop nausea, vertigo, tinnitus, thyroid issues, constipation. This is all from too much salt, not enough potassium, and of course not balancing your magnesium with water. The electrolytes is huge. Too much salt. A lot of people don't know how to focus on potassium, and everybody is different. Sometimes some people can just consume 1 avocado a day and they're perfect. Some people have a histamine response to avocado, or some people have leaky gut and they're not absorbing their potassium. What do you do if you have leaky gut? That's the second massive issue. Because people who have nutritional, let's say, issues with absorbing certain minerals, which of course we need for the electrolytes, or we need copper and we need zinc, fix that gut, sodium, potassium, and of course we need iodine and selenium for the thyroid. And when you have leaky gut, people feel absolutely terrible doing anything where you drop out your carbs because you pee more. I know. Your kidneys dump more fluid, you dump more minerals, and you're just bleeding minerals. I'm going to talk about what we're going to do about it, so just stay patient. Yeah. Other things that are problematic with your minerals is the ability to keep your brain running clear. So when your sodium potassium is messed up, your magnesium is messed up, your zinc copper is messed up, you get a little brain foggy. I'm not going to lie. All right, solutions, really, really quick. Okay, here we go. Electrolytes. Make sure that you have around a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of salt for your sodium. That's in the summer. When it's winter months, it's more like a teaspoon. Everyone is different. Some people require more sodium and some don't. So you got to experiment. Potassium. Okay. 400, if you're taking supplemental potassium because you're having a histamine response to avocados, you can also do a meat broth stock. So you don't have to eat a bunch of meat to get to the potassium. You just have the potassium in the water. That's really beneficial. Also, potassium coming from foods such as, if you're doing keto, then you're going to have potassium in the meat and you're going to have potassium in your cruciferous vegetables. Not a lot. You're going to get about 70 grams per cup, but it's all stacking up and it's adding up to the amount that you need with your teaspoon of salt. There's also potassium citrate, glycinate, bicarbonate. Everyone is different. The one I recommend is citrate, but some people react to the citric acid or anything with citrus. If you were to take potassium citrate, which is the easiest on your kidneys, then one of the last things I forgot that is problematic is people eating a lot of mono meats, mono foods, and people have histamine intolerance. That's connected to that leaking gut. I'm going to go more into that in another video, but that's huge. The leaking gut, the loss of minerals, the histamine response, the SIBO, the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, anybody who's got diverticulitis or Crohn's, just anyone with a type of gut issue, candida or parasitical infestation, you're going to present some issues which combined with the dehydration is problematic when it comes to constipation, if you know what I'm saying, because that's a huge one. Yes, I have to do a bunch of part 2s, but I have to go to bed. And someone said, I think you have better to do videos in the day because you have more energy. I'm like, I got energy right now. But, by the way, Thomas DeLauer just put out a keto video, 2026. He's like, stop listening to these other people. I'm like, oh, stop listening to you. I think if you switched your diets from keto to carnivore to fasting, he's all over the board. Cha-ching. But I digress. I'm going to do a deep dive of his video tomorrow because when I listen to these people, they get all sciencey. Not that I think that he is writing his own material. Pretty sure he's not. And just reading it, pretty sure he is. But with that said, when some of these doctors or people start going way into the science of stuff, and you know that most people watching are the lay crowd, they get lost in the weeds. They don't understand a word you're saying. They're just like, oh, just eat a gram of protein per pound of body weight and keep it at that and forget about the stomach acid and the digestive enzymes. But I do really digress, especially tonight. Comment below, share this content. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I really need to go and break down people who've got, you would take 400 milligrams of potassium, 200 in the morning and 200 in the evening with your teaspoon of salt or teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. Also, water is just as important as the minerals. So you're going to have sodium, potassium to draw water in and out of the cell. Also magnesium helps with that and the contraction of your muscle. Water. You need water. That's the last little component to your electrolytes. Now, blood sugar dysregulation, hypoglycemia, dysglycemia, eat every 3 hours. I don't care what people say about digestion, blah, blah, blah. Eat every 3 hours. Even if the bites of food are small, deconstruct that 2 pounds or pound of meat and eat it throughout your day. You're going to have less of an insulin spike if it's small. You have, for example, 2 ounces or 60 grams of protein with 2 tablespoons of fat as a snack. It's not to feed you, it's to stabilize your blood sugar. It's not the last, but one of the top problems is blood sugar dysregulation, and that branches off to a bunch of other stuff. For example, your blood sugar is running high. You're going to feel really tired because it's going to go from high to low. So you might crash in the afternoon. You might wake up between 2-3 a.m. in the morning and you can't go back to sleep. Again, people are peeing all the time and then they lower ADH, which is antidiuretic hormone. So you're peeing and then you feel like you got to pee even more than normal doing these types of diets. Blood sugar dysregulation is going to make you feel tired. It's going to make you feel cranky, hangry, irritable. And when your blood sugar is running too high, your ketones suck. You might gain weight. My phone battery's about to die. You can't make this crap.